nudge your water glass to you using its lamp snout.
That it might actually be alien technology scoping us out.
Around and shows that everything is priced in grams of gold. I'm gonna skip it.
I was sleeping, had to wake up. Why? Every reason I could think. What's up, YouTube? Today, we'll be looking at disturbing TikToks that'll make you question reality. So without further ado, welcome to Adam Strain Reacts. Let's get her done.
All I want to know is how I can bet some money on this, because this game is pretty cool. I mean, it's a mixture of a lumberjack, geometry, and an ice cold Coors. And the goal is pretty simple. Land the log on the beer. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm putting all my money on Paul Bunyan III here, because his skills are on a whole nother level.
Me and the devil walking side by side. Me and the devil walking side by side. And I'm gonna see my man until I get satisfied. See, you don't see why.
It's like peering into another world sometimes when we look into the past, especially when it comes to certain things like medicine. It's so interesting to see how we've replaced using natural elements and we've decided to synthesize the same compounds found in nature so that we could copyright them and make money. So it's kind of like a wish to go back to the way it was. Like I wonder how it was, when you'd have a problem and you'd take like we were seeing there, like clover honey or stuff like that, because we do know now that like cloves and stuff like that are anti-parasite and they have properties. So I don't know why we decided to change. I suppose it's for money, but I wish we could go back, because from what I understood, when they changed the education system and the people that were running the oil companies realized that they could sort of use oil-based components to create medicine, that's when we started seeing all the pills and all the things that were synthesized. So it feels like it was done out of a bad intention, and it wasn't for the good health of the people. So let me know if you guys think the same way. And if you don't, let me know why down below. And let's keep on rocking.
Did you know that one of the world's most beautiful gems is created as a defense mechanism? A natural pearl begins its life when an irritant, like a grain of sand, gets trapped inside an oyster. To protect itself from the intruder, the oyster begins covering it with layers of a substance called nacre. Over several years, thousands of these shimmering layers build up, transforming a simple piece of grit into a smooth, lustrous pearl.
I've become obsessed with this kind of thing. Apparently, as part of the display at IKEA furniture stores, they have just a fake door printed on a background, but you see this wear pattern from where hundreds of confused customers have tried to open the fake door. So the thing that I've become obsessed with is really weird and interesting wear patterns, like this photo from a laundromat. And you can actually see at head level where all of the dye and the grease from people's hair has created like this ghostly stain over the decades. If you've been to a gym, you've probably seen this wear pattern on their bench press machine where they slide the peg into the weight they want, and you can see like a bell curve distribution of what weights people choose. I really like this one. This is an old-timey shop that's got one of those bells over the door that tinkles when somebody comes in. And over the decades, the millions of door openings has worn a hole all the way through the door. I'm getting these off of a subreddit called R Well Worn. And they have thousands of these. Like here's the restrooms at this person's engineering school. And you see the difference in the wear pattern between the men's and the women's. Here's where this person's hairdresser is slowly wearing a hole in the floor. Here's the keys on an antique organ that have been worn down over the last 170 years. Here's a TV that played CNN every day for 2 straight years, and you can see it created a ghost image where the reporter stands. And of course the obligatory bronze statue where tourists cannot resist grabbing this guy on the butt. None of you realize how weird this is about to get. If you couldn't tell what was going on in that clip, I will explain it. But let me say, we are the last generation for which the stuff in our house is not alive. This is a prototype lamp made by Apple that has AI, but doesn't just let it respond to voice commands. This AI in this machine lets it get sad when you disagree with it. If you set an alarm for it to remind you to drink water while you're working, it won't just sound a tone, it will nudge your water glass to you using its lamp snout. When you play music in the kitchen while cooking, it will dance along to the songs. I am telling you right now, when it comes to AI for the average person, this is where the money is. It does not take much at all to convince us that an inanimate object is alive. If you just stick googly eyes on a Roomba, most of us will get upset if a guest kicks it. But the next generation of children will be raised in homes in which they will treat many objects as members of the family. Ask all the parents who bought Moxie, an AI-powered toy that then went dark when the company went out of business, and then had to talk to their kids, not like a toy had stopped working, but like a pet had died. I am dead serious when I say that most of the people watching this video will live long enough to have an argument with your car. You are going to feel some measurable amount of distress because you think your refrigerator is mad at you. You will absolutely know someone whose best friend is their lamp. And all of these will be available for a one-time purchase to get the object, but to keep it alive, that will be a subscription.
Very interesting. I'm not sure that we're there yet. They've been releasing like these robots, and when you look at the ad, it looks like the robot is acting on its own independently, but really they have people logging into it and sort of teaching it how to move. I wonder if it was the same thing that we were seeing with the lamp. Now, the question that I have is, will we get there eventually? That's more the question that makes sense. And what do you guys think about the fact that these items can have, let's not say consciousness, but let's just say that they interact with you? Do you guys find that cool? Do you guys like that lamp? Me personally, I find it's too much. A lamp for me is to create light. I don't really need much more. But do you guys think that it's coming? Do you guys think that these robots are really going to be able to be self-sufficient and to be independent, and that it's going to be, safe enough to roll out on a massive scale? Is more the issue. Because of course you can make a robot, but if the robot hurts people or stuff like that, it's not going to work. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think we're there now, in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? How do you guys see it? Let me know down below, and let's keep on rocking.
32 years old.
32 years old. Give him a kitty. Give him a dog.
Bro.
Say go night-night.
Go night-night. Oh my God.
Now, why didn't he do it? Why didn't he do it when I said it? That's the one that really trips your mind.
Yeah, that
out.
is crazy.
Handstand in the back somersault?
Sir?
Phineas. Handstand in the back somersault, dude.
No way. No way,
How about
bro.
this one? How about this one? Birdie juggling. You ready for birdie juggling? Don't try this at home. They don't like it.
Please don't drop him.
Oh, I don't drop him. I've had him for 32 years.
Jesus Christ.
Bro.
Catch him.
Oh shit, oh shit.
Bro. Crazy,
One more.
dude.
Give him a shot.
No, please don't go.
No, don't just go.
No, bro. Crazy.
On your shoulder, boss. Turn around and let him get a shot in.
Oh, okay. Please don't hurt me. I didn't do anything to you. I didn't do anything to you.
Dude, that's
So beautiful, the bond that humans can create with animals. 32 years. Can you imagine sharing 32 years with a being like that? Like 10 years with a dog is the end of the world, But I cannot imagine 32 years. It's an amazing relationship that they seem to have, full of trust and full of love. Truly beautiful, inspiring. Have you guys seen any other type of animal like that is in complete synchrony with its owner? Let me know down below. I like to see that. Let's keep on rocking.
You guys, Apple has just released a digital ID for identification and US passports. Here we go. Now, reports say they will be merging their biometric security with encrypted ID storage and plans to replace your physical IDs across airports, apps, and businesses. Why don't I like this? They also said this is going to be used at over 250 TSA checkpoints across domestic airports for identity verification. Now, remember I told you guys about one of the richest men on earth, Larry Ellison, who owns TikTok and Oracle, and who's a big fan of digital IDs? Well, it seems like one big master plan between all the big tech companies. You have Microsoft dealing with OpenAI, OpenAI dealing with NVIDIA, NVIDIA dealing with Oracle, xAI dealing with NVIDIA, and not to mention, OpenAI just did a $38 billion deal with Amazon for cloud storage. So the question is, what are they really planning? Well, I may have some answers. Could it be that they're following in the footsteps of China's Skynet, which is tied to digital IDs, a social credit score, and an AI surveillance system that they actually want to put on the moon? Skynet, huh? Why does this sound familiar? That's because it's the same name as the killer artificial intelligence in Terminator, Skynet. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. It's always in the movies. Make sure you guys go to my YouTube, Maverick Approach, where I do more breakdowns on this, but let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
Guys, it's official. Vine is back, but with one big difference. So not only will it have the exact same 6-second looping videos, but it'll also give access to more than 100,000 archived Vines. But instead of Elon being the person to bring Vine back like he said he wanted to, this app, now called Divine, will be backed by none other than Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey. But the one big thing that makes Divine totally different to other social media platforms is that it will prohibit AI content. In fact, it will scan for and flag suspected generated AI content and prevent it from being posted. It's essentially trying to act as a safe haven. So is this just another hopeless attempt to capitalize on nostalgia? Or can they actually fix the problems Vine had and make it successful this time around?
It's kind of interesting. I know Vine was big back in the days, but I think it was a bit too early because people's attentions were still a bit longer. But it kind of makes sense that they're thinking about bringing it back because now we see the short form content on TikTok, millions of views on a 6-second video. So it's very interesting. But the fact that they want to bring it back without the AI kind of gives it a new purpose. And it kind of brings up a question, because AI showed up and got adopted massively while we were using the same platforms we were using the year before. But because Vine would be, a new platform, then they would put this rule in. Very interesting. What do you guys think about that? A whole platform without AI. Do you guys think that might just save a little bit of, like a little part of the internet to keep it real without bots and without AI? Or do you guys think that it's not going to work and that it's just a flop? Let me know down below and let's keep on rocking.
Freakiest thing that sounds like a weird conspiracy theory but actually is real is right here. Because if you walk down the street and saw somebody holding up a handmade sign saying they are putting chemicals in the atmosphere that makes people do evil things, they are literally driving us crazy and making us kill each other, you would absolutely write that person off as a crackpot. But it happened. Everybody agrees that it happened. In fact, I bet there's at least one person watching this right now who doesn't understand why at gas stations the pumps say unleaded. Like, why would they have lead in them in the first place? And why would you sell it on the basis of not having it? The reason is wild and terrifying. First of all, we used to put lead in everything. It's incredibly useful. We used to make water lines out of it, and cookware, and paint, even cosmetics. And back when automobiles were first becoming popular in the 1920s, they started putting lead in the gasoline. The reasons for it are technical. It helped with engine wear. The problem is that lead is toxic, but it is toxic in very subtle ways. It usually takes a lot of exposure over a long time to see the effects. And a lot of the effects are neurological. And so as there were more and more cars on the road putting more and more lead into the atmosphere, everybody started getting exposed to lead. Keep in mind, if it's in the atmosphere, it means it gets onto the crops and in the soil. And lead exposure, especially in children, causes problems with things like impulse control. You get increased aggression, you get lower IQ scores. So here's the graph. The blue line is lead in the atmosphere. The brown line is the violent crime rate. And you can see the point where governments finally started to ban lead. That's why it says unleaded on those pumps. Now, of course, experts differ on this, but the thing they differ on is how much of an effect lead had. The falling crime rate came alongside lots of other changes, including falling poverty rates, better mental health treatments, differences in policing practices, and just the fact that the population got older. Violent crime is far more common among the young. I say this every time, the reason I get so angry at the fake conspiracy theories is that the real world provides us with so many actual scandals that can actually be documented, that actually tell us so much about how something like this can be allowed to happen and what it took to stop it. Let's put it this way, there was quite a gap between us realizing that lead was toxic and us actually getting it out of the environment.
It's already...
Can you imagine that? Where you're using a product, but like there's no immediate consequences, but then 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, you start realizing the effects. Super crazy. I don't know how real this is, but it's super interesting to think about the subtle implications and the subtle effects that it could have over a long duration of time. It must take a long time to realize. It's sort of like when you have allergies with a certain food, but you don't know because you're eating all kinds of food during the week. So it's hard to say which one is. Sometimes the effects happen 48 hours after or 72 hours after. So it's really hard to find out what it was. So I wonder how much time it must have taken them to figure out that it was the lead doing all that. Yeah, very interesting. Did you guys know about that? Do you guys know about any other type of scandal as to toxicity, sort of like this story? If so, write it down below. I'd like to feature it in some of my next videos. Thank you so much, and let's keep on rocking.
Happening in Venezuela. A friend sent this from El Dorado, Venezuela. He goes into a supermarket where everything is priced in grams of gold. Historically, real money will win out over government abuse. Watch how they pay in gold. And this is extremely interesting. He goes around and shows that everything is priced in grams of gold. And I'm going to skip forward. These are grams of gold. 0.06 grams of gold. Everything. And I worked out the price on this. He shows some Bailey's Irish Cream. And that price is about $44 a bottle. And then he shows how they pay with these little flecks of gold. And so these aren't in fungible increments. So they're going back to sort of like a barter system. And then at the very end, he goes to the cash register and he's paying in gold on a scale. And she weighs it and logs it all in and stamps these receipts, and they've just paid in real gold.
I'm not exactly going to say it, but that country, if you look in the news around these days, something's going on. And I wouldn't be surprised that the reason they're giving you is not the right reason. And this has more to do with it than anything else. Just do your research, think about it. There's some things that I just cannot approach right here on YouTube. I'm going to make a Patreon where I'm going to be able to delve a bit deeper into these subjects. But for now, just try to do your research. Look up that country, see what's going on today, and try to see if there's a correlation between what we just saw and the reason why that's happening. Let's keep on rocking.
Are aliens headed for Earth right now, today? A theoretical physicist says the answer is maybe. He suggests a Manhattan-sized object known as 3I Atlas could actually be a mysterious alien spaceship.
Consider a black swan event, an event that you put a small probability for it happening, but you look at anomalies in the data and say, look, the implications are so huge, we have to consider it. And therefore, we should consider the possibility that things like us existed long before us. All these civilizations that had their history initiated billions of years before ours could have done it. And all we need to do is to check. You know, all of these are interesting indications that may imply that some intelligence designed the trajectory. So, and the editor said, no, no, no. The paper will not get published unless you remove that sentence.
Wow. As the most enigmatic interstellar object ever discovered enters its most critical phase, perihelion, an unprecedented stream of data is arriving from multiple space observatories in real time. On October 29, 2025, at exactly 7:47 a.m. Eastern Time, Atlas reached its closest point to the Sun, marking the climax of its passage through the inner solar system. What has unfolded since that moment is leaving astronomers in disbelief. Astrophysicist Avi Loeb has just released findings documenting a rapid and sustained surge in brightness that vastly exceeds the rate exhibited by any known Oort cloud comet at comparable solar distances. Even more baffling, the object now emits a distinct bluish hue, bluer than the Sun itself. Researcher Avi Loeb has officially labeled this phenomenon as the 9th anomaly associated with this extraordinary interstellar visitor.
Professor Loeb wasn't finished. He went on to talk about a Manhattan-sized interstellar object. He's been on the show talking about it a lot. Professor Loeb suspects that it might actually be alien technology scoping us out. What's NASA potentially hiding about 3i Atlas?
The news yesterday was that this object came closest to the sun, and it received a huge amount of heat from the sun. And the latest report indicates that it became extremely bright, much more than expected for familiar comets. It actually is bluer than the sun. It should be redder, and any dust.
But so what does that mean, Avi? What does that mean if it's hotter than the sun?
We have another anomaly.
His question now reverberates throughout the scientific community. Could this object harness an internal energy source that surpasses the temperature of our star? What these instruments have revealed simply should not exist according to current physics. The latest readings from the Stereo A, SOHO, and GOES 19 coronagraphs taken between September and October indicate an anomalous and unexplained brightness increase. Such an effect cannot be accounted for by reflection, sublimation, or any known natural process. To grasp the magnitude of this finding, it's worth noting that standard Oort cloud comets never exhibit this behavior. None show a sustained exponential rise in luminosity under comparable thermal conditions. Even the researchers involved in the new analysis concede that the reason behind Atlas's rapid brightening remains entirely unknown.
We have to attend to the possibility that it might not be natural just because the implications would be huge for humanity. In a case where you have a visitor to your backyard, the visitor might enter through your front door. That's a situation where there is an important threat to humanity, and therefore even low probability events have to be taken seriously. NASA did not think as of yet about the possibility that an object which has some technology in it might be in the sky. NASA is not the most accomplished space agency in the Milky Way galaxy since the Big Bang, 13.8 billion years ago. So if there was another NASA-like agency around an exoplanet billions of years ago, their gadgets could have arrived at our backyard by now. And that's enough time for gadgets from other civilizations to have reached us. So we should be open-minded when we see new objects that are anomalous.
What I'm about.
Oh, that's a lot. Sorry, that was a bit long. But I haven't been featuring many of the videos for 3i Atlas because it's all little pieces of information, but really at the end of the day, it's not much. This was like a compilation of different ideas and different theories. So what do you guys think? You know, because if I'm not mistaken, a year ago, it was all about the drones in New Jersey. There's aliens here, aliens there, aliens everywhere. Now the aliens aren't here anymore. Now they're there. I don't know. I'm having a very hard time. Do you guys think that these are aliens? Like, I don't know. I need more information. If anyone has any, more information on this, something that would convince me otherwise, or something that would make the case a bit more strongly, let me know. But until now, to be honest, I'm having a hard time seeing this as anything else than misdirection, or just keeping it busy, filling the news cycle, because they've been talking about it a lot. But I don't know. Me personally, NASA is not something that I trust that much into neither. So like I said, if you guys have more information as for, the anomalies or anything that could convince me, please do not hesitate to send it over. And let's keep on rocking. We're almost done with this one.
That to tell you seems too stupid to be true, but unfortunately it is. San Francisco has a street called Main Street, and you're going to say, so what? Every city has a street called Main Street. But here's the thing. Their Main Street, unlike all of the others, is named after a guy, Charles Maine. Look it up. And there are a bunch of examples like this, many of them even dumber. I mean, imagine becoming wealthy and prominent enough that a major city names a street after you that nobody knows because your last name happens to be Maine. Just outside of Chicago is a lovely place called Waterfall Glen, and I swear this is true. While it does have waterfalls, it is named after Seymour Budd Waterfall. The Los Angeles neighborhood of Westlake is not named that because it's in the west or near a lake, but is rather named after Henricus Wallace Westlake. But wait, these only get worse. Burns-O-Matic torches are not called that because they are machines that burn things, but rather after founder Otto Burns. Even though Taco Bell has a bell in the logo, it is actually named after founder Glenn Bell. Which I guess makes sense because what is a Taco Bell? Did we think that it was a bell made of taco? Before merging with Costco, there was a rival chain called Price Club. Not because you can join a club to get lower prices, but after founder Saul Price. Some of you already know that German chocolate cake was not in fact from Germany, but was named after Samuel German. It was named after him because he developed a specific type of baking chocolate. He developed that chocolate for Baker's Chocolate Company. And Baker's Chocolate is called that not because it sells chocolate for bakers, though it does, but rather because it was founded by Dr. James Baker. I've saved the most infuriating one for last. All of the internet runs off of Google's search algorithm called PageRank. This is the algorithm that ranks the web pages. So of course it is called PageRank because it's named after Google founder Larry Page.
Wow. What are the odds? What are the chances? But that's super funny, especially that example about, they name something after you, but no one knows because it's Main Street. Amazing. And that's a wrap for today, familia. Whether you're tuning in with the sunrise or you're posted up after midnight, I appreciate your time, your energy, your curiosity. And don't forget, this isn't about truth or fiction. This is about perspective. If this sparked a laugh, a thought, a deeper question, then we did our job. So drop your thoughts in the comments, keep the convo alive, like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you're riding a wave because we're just getting started. Until next time, stay critical, stay weird, stay grounded. I'm Adam Strain, and this has been Adam Strain Reacts. Peace! What y'all think, but now's the time for us to link up. Really think we on the brink up, making a change from living this strange.